Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. Bert follows us on Twitter. How do you calculate how long it will take someone to pay off their debt? Well, Bert, I use big numbers. I don't use technical calculations here. Number one, most people who pay off their debts that call in here on the show, like 99% of them, pay off everything but their home within a couple of years. The typical time is 2 years and under. Now, some people take, 26 months, some take 36 months, but the vast majority of the debt-free screams and other people we talk to are under 2 years. And so the interest rates and interest charged during that period of time on the typical amount of debt is almost irrelevant. It's not much. And so I don't even figure that into it. And so then what I do is I'm just listening for, and I'm using kind of a common sense big number approach. Warren Buffett says he does big number math, and that's kind of the way I do it here because I'm doing it in my head. I'm not using a calculator. And so it's sixth grade math, but I'm just looking at the shovel to hole ratio. The shovel is how big your income is. The hole is how much debt, not counting your mortgage, that you have. And so let me give you an example. Someone that calls in with $120,000 income. That's $10,000 a month before taxes. It's pretty easy. 120 divided by 12, right? $10,000 a month before taxes. They're getting home with $8,500, give or take, right? Now, they tell me, making $120,000 a year household income, that they have $10,000 worth of debt. Now, you tell me, how fast can you pay off $10,000 if your take-home pays $8,500? So I'm looking at the 120 versus the 10. I mean, if you can't do it in 3 months, something's wrong. It's $3,000 a month, right? $3,300 a month. You can do it. 4 months max, but I mean, it's not. You'll be done by Christmas, basically. So that's what you're looking at, and that's how I look at it. Now, you take that same person making $120,000 household income. They have $200,000 worth of debt. Oh, my Lord. Well, I mean, 200 divided by 50 is 4, right? So 50,000 out of 120, is that doable? Yeah, that's doable. That's beans and rice. That's a pretty tight budget because you got to take taxes out of that 120 and you got to eat and do everything else during those years. But that's a lot of debt. That's a real bad ratio, isn't it? And so they're probably looking at 4, and if they get really cranked up, they'll probably see an increase in income during the time that they are getting out of debt, which almost everyone does see an increase in their income because they're working like crazy people to get out of debt. Then I can say, pretty conservatively that they can get out of debt in 3 to 4 years. But if they say, I'm going to be in debt 7 years, and that's their numbers, I just say, no, that's unacceptable. You're not willing to cut your budget deep enough and, lean in and do what you need to do here. You're going to have to get cranked up harder than that. And so that's how I do it. And so it's a shovel to hole ratio. I mean, if you make $50,000 household income, you got $5,000 worth of debt, that's one you ought to do in a few months. You make $50,000 household income, you got $100,000 worth of debt, that's going to be years. Again, $25,000 into 100, 4 times. Can we do that on 50? Barely. So that's a hard one. It's going to be 4+ years on that one. And that's if they don't sell something and reduce that amount. If 30,000 of that 100 is a car, boom, we just got rid of a year. And I'm going to start selling stuff pretty quick there in those situations. And I'm going to start challenging them to increase their incomes as much as I can to shorten the period of time that they're into debt. And that's how I do the calculations. It's really not rocket science. There's nothing here that's much past 6th grade math, but I'm just thinking it through with them and challenging them to do all they can do to win for them. Them being you, the listener. How fast can we get you out of debt so that you can become outrageously generous and wealthy? And outrageously generous and wealthy. And outrageously wealthy and generous. And so on. How fast can we get you there? Because if you're making 120, you got no payments. Now you got some dadgum money. Plus, you've actually learned how to handle money in the process instead of it disappearing every stinking month. And that's what you're facing.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.